Hey, everybody. How goes it? How goes it? Hey, Robbo. What's up?
Hey, what's happening? Happy July. What's today? The 8th? July 8th.
July 8th.
Yeah.
To you too.
Yeah. So, what do we got? 15 and 10. 15 and 10 would be 25. So 2 and 5 is a 7. Or you could actually go 15 and 1. So it'd be a 16, So 16 is a tower card. And but a 1 and a 6 come together, there's still a 7,
7.
So paying attention.
My life path number. My life path number is a 7. You said yours is a 5, right?
Yeah, mine's a 5. Wherever there's conflict, there's my life path number. So yeah, but
Who's
so
here today?
happy Pay Attention 7's Day,
Cynthia, Deborah. Hi, guys. I know Gillian's here. She just hasn't popped in yet. Hi, Gil. Hi, everybody who hasn't posted in the chat. But we got a message here from Cynthia.
Okay.
I guess she's got a friend whose fur baby had to go to the vet, and they're going to wind up having to put him down next week.
Oh, no.
I can't deal with that. That's a shame. So she's asking for a prayer for her friend and the fur baby. So maybe, Rob, you can do something.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Our most gracious and loving Heavenly Father, Holy Spirit, Mother, healing, guiding, angels and power of the universe, the all, the healing flow that comes. There's healing can come in comfort. And for Cynthia's friend, we know that this hurts, this is painful, and it can go on for a while. We want your healing to go to them in the loss of this beloved animal. Let the animal just be in less pain. The healing just in a way where the animal is at comfort until the last. And bless and guide everybody here. Let your energy flow and keep us all safe. So mote it be.
So mote it be. So it's interesting that Cynthia brought this topic up because our plan for the evening was to discuss the meaning we place on animals, spirit animals. You and I have several decks that do that, and I came across an article where, the person writing it was like, that's all well and good, but why do we have to assign meaning to everything? Why can't it just exist in our periphery? Why does when you walk down the street and the blue jay fly in front of you, why does that blue jay have a specific meaning?
You're absolutely right.
Especially since there's 1,000 blue jays. So what was specific about that one? Or just things that we think are serendipitous, and why do we feel like we have to assign meaning? Not saying that there isn't meaning, but maybe a cigar is just a cigar, right? It just is, this is where the gopher lives, so this is where the gopher be.
If you're saying a prayer or asking spirit for some particular sign at that moment, and something appears out of nowhere that you don't see or never see or whatnot, but that's like going down to Lake Okeechobee, sitting on the bank and going, I need the sign of an alligator if I'm supposed to do this. Well, you know what? Yeah, you probably saw 3 on the way down to Okeechobee. So, yeah, sometimes the thing is just thing. We're living life. We're connected. What you've got on your mind. And I'll give you another way to think about it. And a lot of people don't. It just, spirit just gave it to me. Boom. We're out walking. I have this thing in my head that I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Oh, a rabbit darted in front of me. This is the way to go. The whole fertility. We're creating something. Everything's good. You know what it could mean? Something's chasing the fucking rabbit.
Right.
And you better watch your step because there might be a rattlesnake over there. And we pay so much attention to those things. I'm in agreement. sometimes a dolphin is just a dolphin. It's where it lives. We're in its thing. Now, if you're walking through the woods in Texas, all right, and a dolphin comes bopping through on its tail,
that
that's a sign.
I think about when we went on the cruise to Alaska and all the whales we saw.
Yeah.
We saw dozens of whales as we were cruising every day. They would just swim alongside the ship as we were going through. And so it would be like saying, oh, that, that must have meaning, but I'm not saying that
it doesn't
have meaning, right?
Right.
Which leads me to the topic of, you and I believe we have spirit animals, right? Spirit guides, spirit animals that sort of, we embody the traits of them, right?
Right.
And, obviously mine's a dragonfly. Can I say what yours is?
Yeah, sure.
Rob's is a tiger. And one of the things we are also talking about is we have all these oracle decks, and each one of these decks assigns a different meaning to the same animal. So Rob and I thought, well, let's start with our spirit animal, and he's got his. We've got different decks. So Rob's got his Colette Baron Reed deck and his Stephen Farmer deck, and I've got my Maya Toll Bestiary deck and Spirit of the Animals Oracle deck by Jody Bergsma. So we've got 4 separate decks here. Not all the animals are in every deck, but we decided we're gonna pull a couple of animals and compare. What does your deck have to say about a tiger versus my deck? So I thought that was kind of cool. So
Yeah.
since hers is a white wolf. Hey, if you guys know what your spirit animal is, have that putting it in the chat.
Or if you've got a question about it,
yeah,
anything,
we can try. We can't guarantee you that every animal is in the books, but I can tell you this bestiary has some different animals in it.
Oh yeah, well, and that's what some of these it's like, okay.
And I also have this ARC deck.
Yeah.
You remember Bernadette King? So
remember I interviewed her.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's got like a bajillion animals, and her animal meanings do not jive with like typical animal meanings. They are complete. What you would think an animal would mean in general is not at all what she assigns in her thing. So
well, and the weird thing about that, you remember, I didn't even know how she intended for the deck to be, because it came with a tarot deck and an
oracle deck.
All right.
That's what
And then we're reading cards together. Okay. And she's pulling oracles and this. What she does is she mixes her oracles with her tarot.
Right.
So if she's doing a spread, the oracle could fall into the spread and it needed to be read with that in mind, read with that in mind or whatnot. Yeah. I know the proper pronunciation of words. Yeah, no feels tonight, just coffee. Maybe I should go get one.
No kidding, right? So we thought it would be interesting to see. So I've got my Spirit of the Animal Oracle, and I've got my Tiger card, right?
Okay.
And on the card it says, "I choose to be unstoppable. My passion is my power. I am bold, I am brave, and mighty forces come to my aid." And then when
which one is that? Is that the tiger?
That's the tiger. And so then when I go into my book, it gives me, a synopsis of what the tiger is, and it gives me contrary meanings. Are you tired from rushing around? Have your passions got the better of you? Is your aggressive nature getting you in trouble, Rob? remember to keep your life in balance.
Yeah.
But it also says that the traits that embody this is strength, will, stealth, invisibility, passion, sexuality, yin yang, balance, fluid movement, fiery devotion, solitary ambition, fierce and determined. And then it says if your tiger is your totem, you need a lot of solitude, you're afraid of nothing, and your determination is astounding.
Right.
You know,
And I think a lot of people confuse their totem animal, their spirit animal, and there's another one in my brain's flipping up what it is. And they're all and we're bringing that though from a lot of Indian lore, shaman stuff, witch doctor, uh, earth medicine from the indigenous tribes or whatnot. But they all mean different things and they come into your life at different times,
right. So for me, my spirit animal is what I carry with me all the time.
Right.
An animal totem may be the embodiment of an animal that I need to embrace at that time in my life. At one point, it was elephants for me. At one point, it was butterflies for me. At one point, I was really into, I don't know, pick something, salamanders, frogs, whatever. And you go and elephants was a big thing for me, and when you go to wherever you go to look up that information, it gives you the synopsis of, okay, well, if the spirit of the elephant is entering your life at this time, these are some of the things that you should pay attention.
Right.
So I'm curious, what does your book say, Tiger?
All right. And that's it. It's really interesting that with the tiger, okay, on the card with the Stephen Farmer deck, okay, you're being called upon to provide leadership. So trust that you're capable of doing so. That's what's actually on the card. It's more of taking that leadership role or whatnot. But it talks about being an effective and compassionate leader requires that you know the art of balancing yin and yang. So there's the yin yang thing that you were talking about, okay? And pay attention to the subtleties and the flow of the group process while simultaneously staying attuned to your intuitive voice. So, when I think of that, I think of like the animals, a tiger. We all think of it when it's creeping through the woods. But right. Even when it's not creeping and it's laying there, it's paying attention. It's looking at what's going on, and it knows, it makes sure it's full of its surroundings. Now, the associations here: sensuality, passion, independence, confidence, clairvoyance, mysticism, intuition, power, agility, gracefulness. So he kind of went through the library. There's even more here, okay, of the different associations: healing, vitality. And, we can look up and come through for 30 different things that the lion could represent. So that's why I say I think it's very, very important that if you're going to look at something that came in your dream or something that you feel is guiding you, okay, you need to know what are your questions, where are you going? Like, and I'll be honest with you, the perfect night to talk about being a tiger. I've been through a lot here lately or whatnot, but I'm coming out of it. And one of the things is to remember I'm supposed to be looked at to lead people through what I'm doing and not fall prey to it. You know what I mean? So this is saying, firing up the tiger in me to say, no, I have to take control and use that veracity and that fierceness to move forward despite what it is. And I think that's really hitting home for me.
Right. Interesting you should say that, because mine is saying, tiger medicine helps you balance your dark and light stripes.
Yep.
your time in your world and your time alone, your fierceness and gentleness, and your aggression and peace. And it says, call upon Tiger to teach you to move tirelessly and steadily through life. Adventure, beauty, grace, passion, and power are natural to the one who has Tiger as totem.
There you go.
So, to me, I think that's, interestingly, our card said the same thing. But I'm going to pull the book for Bernadette out.
Yeah. Because my Colette Baron does not have Tiger in it. I was really surprised about that because her artwork is so pretty always. Whoever she gets to,
she doesn't have these in any.
Ooh, that might make it rough.
Oh, she's got it like separated.
By suit or something?
No, like mom and baby cards and prehistoric and mythical animals and like maybe stuff like that.
Right.
So to find it, mystery pet cards, tortoise, sugar glider, snail, sheep, awesome.
Yeah, we're getting some input here. We've got Cynthia. Mine is a white wolf. She is beautiful. Oh, you found it?
Yep.
Go ahead.
So the tiger, it's in her tarot deck, and it's the card that the tiger represents is the King of Wands, and on the front of it, it says loyalty and an honorable spirit and ferocious, right? And then there is a whole 2 pages of information here.
Yeah, she gives a lot of info.
But she's got this little blurb. As a spirit animal, it says when the tiger emerges as your spirit animal, it's time to be still and listen. As a totem animal, it says it belongs to brave souls with a fiery strength and will. And as a power animal, which was the third thing that you were looking for.
Right.
It says invoke tiger as your power animal when you need help living up to your greatest potential. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought it was interesting. So let's see. We've got Cynthia with
a
white wolf or the wolf. We could just look up a wolf if you want.
Yep.
Gil's got a rabbit. Elena's got a horse, a white horse. I know the colors are important to you guys, but the books don't get that specific.
Yeah. And let's do this. Cynthia asked a good question, or somebody did, about a lot of times, how do I know what my totem animal is? Well, sometimes that's where meditation will come in. All right. And to see if something will appear in the meditation. Okay. Because it's not set in stone. And that's let me read this. This is a good explanation. A totem animal is a collective ancestral emblem representing an entire group, clan, or a tribe. A spirit animal is personal, individual guide that appears to you during your specific life phase for a temporary purpose. And with as far as the power animal, that's where you're going and saying, like one of the decks I've used, like is the 2 of Cups would be a certain animal, or the Colette Baron Reed. What that power animal is saying right now, you need to follow this characteristic, okay, for this problem that you're in. I hope that helps a little bit. But what I'd like to do one night is I've got an actual guided meditation that I do with people where we see what animal's coming to you at that moment. Okay. So maybe what I need to do is set that up for it's Wednesday. Maybe I need to set that up next week. Okay. For us to do, I've already got a Monday night set, but let's do a special like on a Thursday night or something. We could even do it here if you want. It doesn't matter.
Or you can you can record the meditation. People can listen to it and then bring their stuff on Wednesday, and we can talk about it there.
Yeah, I can try to do that.
Either way, I don't know. But yes, I agree with you. I think it would be interesting to do the meditation.
Right. Because what I've seen before I understood what that was, the first time I experienced it, a certain animal appeared, and I was like, no, I want a tiger. And it will change at your will. You can, because it's in your mind. But I always remember what that first animal was, and going at that time, that's what I needed.
That's what you needed. And that was like when I was talking about the elephants, the butterflies, and the frogs, and the snails and the ladybugs. For me, right. When those animals have messages for me, they either appear out of the ordinary individually, like the hawk that landed in the tree outside my office window.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's like, oh wow, this is a heavily populated area, and to see the hawk, we've been known to see hawks, but not on a regular.
Right.
If I was
they don't normally come and land in your front yard.
Right. If I was in a park or out somewhere in nature, I could see that. But here, in the front yard was like, Bruce had one landed right on top of the roof of his truck and sat there. For me, that's in the driveway. So that was, to me, I was like, all right, well, there's a message there for you for sure. Right? Because it was just unusual. Or for me, I will see them every time I turn around. I will see them. There will be a ladybug every time I move, or frogs out the wazoo, or I was having elephants, pictures of elephants of all kinds just coming across in everyday life, like without me seeking them out, not actual
right.
elephants, obviously images and all kinds of stuff. But so that's how I know, all right, I need to pay attention to this and maybe do a little research on what this is. Now,
yeah. I've got the wolf spirit right here.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
Oh, do you? Okay. What has yours got for the wolf spirit for Cynthia?
Mine says leadership, teacher, pathfinder, protector, family, loyalty, enduring, cooperation. You need to be cooperative, Cynthia. Society, strength,
pack animal,
spirits, and willpower. And then on the card it says, release your past and start a new journey. That's very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, that's very interesting. You are a teacher, that is wild, and help others find their way. There will be challenges, but your soul is strong. It's dark. I'm trying to say perseverance is your secret power. You have a love that endures, which, from what I don't know you very well, Cynthia, but from what I know of you, the hair on my arm is standing up with the interpretation.
And that, wanting to walk your own path, when that comes back, says it reminds you, you're a leader of a pack. You're supposed to be working and teaching all those, because people always want to be the lone wolf. You really don't. Okay. Well, the lone wolf, they don't survive long. Okay. Because a wolf depends on the pack and everything else having to do with the pack to survive and to even reproduce or move on. Mine is funny, from Stephen Farmer. No, this is from Colette Baron Reed. Wolf spirit, turn knowledge into wisdom. Okay, is what's on the card. And that's what a teacher does. There's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. I know this is a gun. Wisdom tells me don't turn it around and pull the trigger. Okay. It's one of those, Patronus, right? It's like a Patronus.
Expecto Patrono.
Yeah, you're summoning that energy to help you. So it says here, Oracle message, Wolf Spirit leads you deep into enchanted forest that holds the secrets to your life. Can you sense her beckoning you to follow, asking you to take all you have learned and all you are learning and make it yours? Can you integrate it into your body, mind, and spirit? Whatever lessons you learned along the way, do not leave them unexamined. And that to me, when I'm dealing with somebody on more of a psychological level, it's that we can't keep carrying, pain and suffering and things in our life. We have to look at them and deal with them. Right. And say, okay, doesn't mean you have to like them, all right? But that's really, and be loyal. There's that again. Be loyal to your dreams, in your soul, and to turning knowledge into wisdom and experience. Wow. Here, what does it say? Protection message. What is unknown is still yet to be discovered. When Wolf Spirit appears, you are being told not to pretend you know something when you don't. That's kind of crazy. You won't impress anyone with a little bit of knowledge. In fact, you rob yourselves of a true experience and education if you tell yourself you are done learning or you don't have to know something. Wow, that's pretty powerful.
It is. Even the bestiary book here. Gray Wolf's power comes from understanding the intricacies of our bonds with each other.
Okay.
Let words and speech become background babble and instead focus on the eyes, the twitching muscles in the jaw, and begin to feel into complex social situations, intuiting connections and relationships. This is how you learn who to trust and how you learn who leads. Play intend. This is how you build the bonds of a tribe and a sense of wholeness. It says Wolf knows that you are a shimmering thread in a larger tapestry, part of an integral weaving of family and community, and understanding social dynamics and how to play them is Wolf's special medicine.
Wow.
And then the short message on this card is nurture connection.
Okay.
Let's see.
Elena is the white horse. I can do horse.
I can probably do horse too. Let me see what we've got.
Yeah, I've got one ready. You want me to go ahead?
Yeah, you start while I look.
This is very interesting, Elena. Freedom is yours, is what is on the card. Okay. When horse spirit appears, you are gifted with the spirit of movement and freedom. It is a time for travel and adventure, whether that means a trip somewhere or taking a different type of journey, one of freedom of choice. Horse spirit reminds you that no matter the circumstances, you have free will and choices that can take you far away to a better place, a better situation, a better state of being. Horses are social animals and known to befriend to mankind, willing to carry us forward when we need it. Now, here's one thing I want you to remember, Elena. That doesn't mean you should always be helping somebody else. Even a horse needs a break. Okay? And the person's problems, and this is coming to me heavy, okay? Having a little bit of knowledge of horses and having dealt with them or whatnot. Before I could crawl up on a horse, we had to find the horse that could handle my size. Just because a horse doesn't mean it can handle anybody to jump up on it, which is telling me you're a horse, but don't take on problems that are out of your league, okay? That you can't handle. They will drag you down and wear you out. All right? That's what I've got. Let's see if Brigitte comes up with anything.
So the bestiary book has a horse in it. It's called an Andalusian.
Okay.
And the note, the short message is transcend yourself. And so the longer message is, while it is well known that horse can carry your body, what's less known is that horse can transport your soul. In times past, if you wanted to visit your sister in the next village, you called on horse. And when you wanted to visit your great grandmother in the lands beyond, you also called on horse. Horse is a companion and guide whose gift is the freedom to transcend physical incarnation. Whether your body needs to move through space or your soul needs to glide through time, horse beckons you to your journey. When you're not sure you can make it there alone, call on horse to carry you. Horse says it's time to transcend your current way of being. That's an interesting message for you.
Yeah, it is. Very interesting.
You know.
Very interesting.
And then
now, Gillian's was the rabbit. We got to do yours too. Your little dragonfly. We got to see what everything says about your dragonfly. But Gillian said hers was a rabbit. And you know, in reading some of this while you're looking it up, you know, it's one of those things where I understand how Gillian stays so cheerful. You know what I mean?
Read yours because I don't have a rabbit in either of these. But
okay.
I might have
rabbit spirit. And this is from the Colette Baron Reed. Okay. What is on the card is now is a lucky time. You know, and it says rabbit spirit appears to lead you out of your dark warren and into the light so that you can participate in a fertile and beautiful experience. That's why I'm here, to get you out of the house. Okay? I'm a rabbit. You wascally wabbit. You know? But, you know, what it's saying is you do need to be outside. You need to see something. It may seem safe below ground, but the magic happens when you come out and take the risk of being vulnerable and co-creating something new. No. Wow. How can a rabbit really be working with a Scorpio?
Yeah. No. The answer is no. No.
So, you know, you are being invited into a new life that you have no experience with. That was when you met me. Okay. But have no fear. Take it also. Oh, I think I turned double pages here. Hold on. Nope. There we go. We're right. Today is also a time to be fruitful and productive as you enjoy rabbit spirit's sunny and prolific energy. Protection message. Vulnerability is required even if you don't feel safe. Act as if you trust that you will be okay, and soon you will see that you are okay. And you know, one of the things when I first met Gillian, she was always the one to go, it's going to be okay. It will be provided. Spirit will provide. You know, Gillian actually came into my life, folks. I don't know how much you know, and shifted. Bridget can tell you how much my mind has shifted thought patterns and processing things or whatnot. And I always tell the story, and this will fit right in, where when Gillian and I first met, we're going into her apartment, and in the parking lot, there was a penny. Well, the penny was tails. It wasn't heads up. Okay. And I didn't pick it up. And she walked up and snatched it right up. And she told me, she said, I was always brought up with the, you know, the wives' tale that, you know, that's an unlucky penny. She says, what you're doing is putting out to the universe that any money is unlucky. And it's not. It's what we want. And boy, let me tell you, if I see anything shiny now, because that was the beginning of the change for me in finances, getting better, things happening, things going, getting done with school, blah, 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 blah. Okay. That really marked a change. And there are times now, I know it, everybody may be silly. Okay. But I'll find money in the dryer. And from when I would do it earlier, which was change, I was saying thank you and putting it in my pocket. Don't put it in a jar up there. I put it in my pocket. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Now I'm finding green money in the dryer. And that's reminding me that there was a time when I didn't have green money in my pocket, you know, and now it's there. So yeah, that rabbit thing, that whole what you think about or whatnot, how you perceive it, that's it. Is it just a penny in the parking lot? Someday it's just penny in the parking lot. Someday it's a sign for you to get back in touch with your spirit self.
Right. So interesting. These other two books didn't have rabbit in it, but the Ark had rabbit in it.
Okay.
She's got it listed as the Seven of Pentacles, but she gives sort of totem spirit animal meanings, just a little synopsis here. And it says, when rabbit hops in as your spirit animal, it's time to look before you leap. And rabbit as a totem animal is for those souls who are creative problem solvers, which Gillian is, beyond any shadow of doubt, a creative problem solver. Invoke rabbit as your power animal when you need help switching directions fast. So that's what this one says. And then there's a whole nother page, but it is literally an entire page of a book. And it goes into like what the Chinese animal zodiac regards rabbit as.
It's funny that you wanted to talk about animals tonight. And I got a new shirt. Okay. And I'm going to try to stand up here where you can see it better. Okay. And this is what I chose to wear tonight. Okay.
Those are herons, aren't they? Or cranes?
They're herons. Yes.
Yeah.
Blue herons. I think they're blue herons. And I haven't even looked them up yet. But I just like the orange and I wanted to wear something different. Right. You know? But boom, there we go. And I went past a dragon, a compass. I got some new shirts coming up everybody needs to see. You know,
are we missing anybody else?
You know, Gillian, what you say? I'm a killer bunny, like from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Oh
my gosh! I'm trying to see if we missed.
Oh yeah, she's saying it's a crane.
It's a crane.
So it might be crane. Yeah.
So I think we got everybody in the.
Yeah. So now let's talk about your animal,
right, which is the dragonfly.
The dragonfly. This is really, I always talked about it being, change, moving back and forth, whatnot, knowledge. But this actually brings it very much into a different light. And I want to see how they match up.
Okay. You want me to go first? You want to go?
Sure, go right ahead.
Okay. So this is my dragonfly card.
Okay.
Dragonfly represents magic. On the card, it says, I embrace my transformation. I courageously let go of the past. The magic of nature is in me. I am brilliant and I am blessed. And then in the book, it says the key words are prosperity, purity, good luck, omens, chains, transformation, messages, nature spirits, and ancient wisdom. And then it goes on to say, dragonfly is an ancient creature, and it is estimated that they've been on the planet for millions of years. They're gifted survivors. Their brilliant colors come only with maturity. There's a core truth of their wisdom. Growth, enlightenment, and your best self comes with time. Dragonfly asks us to be patient with ourselves and the process. Their first 2 years are spent in the water as nymph. And then in late spring, they crawl to land, dry themselves off, and take it to the air. The last stage of their life is stunningly short. Dragonfly people are urged to seize the brilliant moment while they can. If dragonfly comes fluttering into your awareness, know that messages, change, and opportunity are on the wind. Perhaps a loved one who is now in spirit is reaching out. Nature spirits and magic are always near dragonfly people. Pay attention to omens. If Dragonfly is your totem, you have the power to continually transform into something better and more brilliant. You will always have everything you need to prosper. If you ever feel static, call upon the energy of the Dragonfly to help change the situation and lift you to a brighter and more beautiful world.
Okay, cool. And I'll show you what mine has. First, I want to talk. Yes, we said that Deborah is a Bengal tiger, but we can't go into we don't have enough information about. All we have are tiger.
The tiger. So we read that for Rob.
So you and I, Deborah, are the same thing as far as just the basis of a tiger goes. Now, the Bengal tiger, where I could see if I'm going to take this now on a personal journey for you, the first thing I got was the white. I think that's a Siberian, okay? But the Bengal tiger is its size, which I'm thinking is for you, talking about how important you are as a leader, how important you become in your day-to-day movement to other people and to yourself to maintain that spirituality and to maintain that tiger spirit. So that would be the best I could do with the Bengal portion of that. But I will look it up just to make sure. So with the Dragonfly spirit, this one was really cool. First off, I find it funny that in the Call Out Baron Reed deck, the card is number 22. Okay, so that's that partnership, the duality squared, at most powerful rate. And Dragonfly spirit is here to remind you of the wisdom and truth available at all times in the hidden realms. And this would explain your inner understanding. You see
my uncanny
things,
intuition. Yeah.
But not even that, understanding things at a deeper level. Okay. And that makes total sense. All right. Dragonfly spirit appears to tell you to pay attention to the truth beyond the illusion and recognize the insights that come seemingly out of nowhere, peeking through from behind the veil. Okay. And I know you've always said you don't talk or see a lot of, spirits like a psychic medium or things like that, but you definitely get those peeks behind the veil
I am
a lot more than a lot of people.
Human bullshit detector, right? It doesn't take long for me to, it used to drive Bruce crazy. He used to think I was so wildly judgmental in a mean way.
Right.
We would be in that chat room and I would say to him, no, not that one, not that person. And he'd be like, why? I just don't like him. I don't like the vibe. I don't like, and he would be like, you're so uppity. Like you're so snooty. and push comes to shove, like inevitably the truth will out and they show their ass. And it's like, see, I told you that this person was not right,
Yeah.
Just keep them at arm's length. Don't let them in. So
and that's it. There's a lot of truth. Not everybody and I've said this before in love readings and other types of readings, not everybody that comes into our life was supposed to be there in the position they are.
Right.
Sometimes we were to learn something and leave, but we filled the need with this person and brought them deeper into our circle than what we were supposed to, especially with a spouse or, things like, why do you think it's like, okay, the minute somebody gets married now, you start the timer. Are we doing a poll on this one? Not that we wish anybody bad,
right? Yeah.
But it's just the way our culture is anymore. Nobody wants to fight through anything. Nobody wants to, tie through. And I'm a hell of one to be speaking. But at the same point, that's what that is being able to stop and look and listen, see through the bullshit. Now I've got a touch of that was what made me wildly successful in that career I was in way back when we first met. Okay. Being 5 up was Rob, come talk to him. I was the interview guy. And I'd be like, okay. And I didn't know why. Okay.
Something doesn't add up, right? It just
they just some
right.
here is just like, no, we're not going there. But so with the Dragonfly, that makes total sense to me about what they're saying and what they're doing, and that whole thing about moving from spirit into the real world.
And we talked about that before we started the show, where a big part of the reason why Dragonfly is my animal is because I exist between two spaces at the same time all the time.
Right.
And I think that's why sometimes it's so integrated into me that sometimes, like you said, I don't even know that what I'm doing is connecting. It's just at this part of my personality, part of my character, part of my internal makeup. So there's no line of delineation, right? It's sort of
right.
It just sort of comes here. Where with a lot of people, there is a clear line, right? I am here and this is here. And for me, it's all sort of misted together, like, and so there's no demarcation line. And I was an adult truly before I really realized that I lived in that existence.
Right.
As a teenager, I chased, phenomena, right? I wanted so bad to have those moments, those movie moments, and just have that.
And I'm with you there. I would do the same thing.
But inevitably, I would have them, but they were so part of my nature because I have always existed in both sort of planes at the same time. And it's interesting as this middle-aged woman to realize, what I've chased my whole life, I've actually had a hold of and just didn't even know it.
Yes, exactly. Well, and a lot of us when we were younger, when we don't have anybody that we can go to, like my background, I definitely had nobody I could go talk about any of this stuff or whatnot. You didn't either, No, so we're fumbling and finding it, on our own and trying to make heads or tails of it. And we're trying to balance it with beliefs I wasn't born with, but I was given, okay, through the whole mother-father thing or whatnot. But then beliefs that were running around down in that root chakra, in that, the solar plexus chakra. That's like going, something's not, right. All this doesn't make sense.
That wonky feeling in your stomach or in your chest up here or whatever. Yeah.
I would always run towards it when it was something freaky like that, than running away from it because I wanted to know what was there, And I think I got a quick story when I was in Chiefland. All right. Car goes by me. I'm sitting way out in the freaking boonies in the swamp on Highway 19. Couldn't see the lights from town. Couldn't see anything down ahead. I mean, it was dark. All right. And I'm sitting there with the windows down and my lights off, the car's off and everything. Here comes a car flying. I think I got him like 128 or something like that. And I'm like, I'm not even going to try. But then here comes a truck going from 90 and was speeding up. Well, I hit the blues, went out and got him. We met at the Bet's Big T truck stop. Okay. And that guy got out. He was as white as a ghost.
Oh,
And he's like, look, here's my license, all the truck papers. You can breathalyze me. And you could tell, obviously, what drinking. He was scared. And I'm like, what's going on? He said, outside of a little town called Otter Creek, he said, once we cleared that curb, we got into the total dark, a ball of light came down on my truck and it stayed right off my running lights all the way up till we turned the corner and you could see the glow of Chiefland lights. He said, that car that was in front of me was behind me. And he said, but all of a sudden it just went right straight up. He said, it didn't just disappear. And I'm looking at him like, okay. And then he hands me his pilot's license. And I'm like, okay, whether you're telling me the truth or not, you get an Oscar. You're going through. He had me convinced enough that I called and asked Gainesville Tower, okay, if they'd had any, phenomena on their radar. And they did say they had a blip, okay, at one point over my way. I'm like, a blip. Okay, well, whatever that could mean.
Right. It's a fine blip.
What do? Now I'm by myself. We have no backup.
Right?
I go right back out there and park, turn the lights off, everything else. And I'm sitting there waiting. And then all of a sudden, the swamp comes alive. And you can hear the gators. You can hear, all the crap and everything. And I literally remember sitting there like this. I was smoking a cigarette, looking at that window and went, what are you going to do with the son of a bitch when you find it?
Right.
I'm going back to make tea. Boom, right back. And I stayed with coffee and a jukebox for about an hour.
The only other thing that would have been worse is if the swamp went dead silent.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I've seen that happen. Yeah, or heard that happen.
You get the hell out of there then too, right? Because if the gators aren't bulling, what, you know what?
Yeah.
Get the hell out, because something.
Yeah, I got some swamp tales we could tell. That would be funny. But at any rate, that's it. That chasing it, trying to figure it out, wanting to know the truth. And I think that's where your dragonfly comes in to play, And so
Cynthia wants to know, does it bother me at all or scare me at all? Cynthia, it doesn't, because the only time I get a little weirded out is when I have that rare sort of experience where I do see something or I do hear something. Most of it is just in me. So there's no like switch that says, hey, Bridget. It's more like I'm standing there and I'm talking to you, and I know that like I know that you're looking to clear. Let's say your husband passed away, and this is an experience I had. So I was reading somebody, her husband passed away, and I was not aware at the time that she was trying to debate on whether or not to take his things, certain things that had to do with his business, and sell them off. She was worried he'd be angry. And I happened to say to her just out of nowhere, and this was not part of the conversation we had until after, I said to her, hey, look, I know you're worried about getting rid of all this shit, but just do it, because it has no benefit to you. And she was like, how did you know that? Oh my God, I've been struggling with that. So there's stuff like that it just comes upon me, and I kind of know it. In the course of just an interaction. Same with like I was saying, you come upon somebody and I call it my spidey senses. My spidey senses are tingling. And you just know, you know what? I don't need any part of this person. None whatsoever. So I'm going to be as polite and cordial as I can be right now, and then I am not going to pursue this connection any further.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just stuff like that. Have I been scared? Absolutely. I was sleeping on my couch one night and something came up right to the side of my head and went, Bridget! Scared the absolute shit out. I sat bolt upright. I ran in the room because I thought, Bruce, you son of a building block, you couldn't wake me up to get me to go back into the room. I went in there. He was dead asleep, like sawing wood. I didn't go back to sleep that night because who's screaming in my face while I'm sleeping?
And why?
And why?
And
right.
why?
So
what am I supposed to be paying attention to?
Things like that. I had a dream one night that a friend's husband, a good friend of mine's husband, passed away. And the night before this happened, I had a dream that I was fighting with him. And I was saying to him, are you going to tell her that you're going to leave? You can't just leave without telling her. Like, we were having an argument where I was saying to him, you can't just take off out of nowhere and not tell her. And he was telling me that, it was none of my business, and that, it was between him and her. And I was adamant, you cannot do this to her. And the next day, she contacted me. He had an accident and was pinned under some farm equipment and lost his life. And I freaked out. Like, I was shaking. So, but that was early in like my development, right? But I was like, holy shite. But does it scare me? No, not really. Not.
It will startle you at times, but then you learn what's going on and you don't get scared. Unless, like you said, then those spidey senses click in and you're like, warning, Will Robinson, warning, yeah, okay. And you're kind of looking over your shoulder, making sure you cleared it, or whatnot. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but it's interesting, And so anyway, long story short, that is how the Dragonfly, and the fact that I can be anywhere in the world and you will be with me and you will see a dragonfly within our immediate vicinity. There will be a dragonfly. I can't remember where it was. Mexico, right? We're in Mexico, and there was dragonflies. Just an odd area, for it to be.
I want to interrupt you for a minute. Did anybody else see that on Bridgette's photo, on her video? That's all I'm going to say. I want to see if anybody answers it or whatnot, because I let you go because I wanted to see if it was light or a freak of something else. And it has not happened before, and it has not happened since. So I know we're running a little behind with everybody. So I want to let some of the answers come in. But in that, I just would give everybody a little bit. Did anybody else see? It was very subtle. It was very subtle. Well, nobody's answering. Or it's what I feel things in all kinds of places, but don't see. I hear sometimes no dreams. Thank goodness I don't want that. So I know we're waiting on a catch up here. Yes. All right. So Cynthia says she saw something. Bridget, while you were talking, okay, something materialized. Okay, I've got goosebumps all over. Okay, nothing bad, and it was light. And then all of a sudden, it went from your left side to your right side and disappeared. Okay, but it only showed up from like just about below your nose and then over. Okay, so like I didn't get anything bad from it, but I felt like maybe somebody you're talking about, or you might be having a memory of somebody as we speak. Okay. They're there. Okay. I'm really picking that up, but it's not a bad thing. Okay.
There's always
You've always
somebody
got
or
somebody
something
flipping
around.
around. Yeah.
Always somebody around. So
Right.
always somebody, something. Interestingly enough, we had the infamous living room fan on the other day again. This time it was on purpose, but the lights just started flickering. Only light in the house, flickering like that, just flicking. And I said to Bruce, "Do you think we've got a leak in the roof?" But it was the only light in the house. Of course, I go for leak in the roof rather than something messing with it. But things, it happens all the time. There is something in this closet beside me here. I got to go through it. There's something in there that is it's got to be something like from maybe Bruce's ancestry or mine, or something is in there, because I'm always in this closet. There's so much shit in this closet. I'm always hearing or seeing things. I'm in this room all day, every day.
Right.
So there's always something going on. It just may be where things hang out when they're waiting for me to notice them. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's always something. So it doesn't surprise me that you've seen something, especially when I'm talking about experiences, because now my vibration's coming up, and my spirit thinks, oh,
you're tuning in.
It's time to tune in.
Yeah. Well, we haven't had anything big happen since we left Dover. And I think spirit is good to us, because I always get things, not as much as you do, but when they come in, man, they are, me, they're razor freaking sharp. Yeah. They're vitally, distinctive. But I think spirit has said, that's been enough for a while. Okay. We got to let them, chill
reset,
out.
Right.
Yeah. And reset. So,
the closet stuff doesn't need to be banished. It's not anything that is bad. It's not, whether
I've slept in that room 2 or 3 times and never uncomfortable.
No, it's not like,
and that's weird for me, because that is a full closet, and it's open most of the time. And normally that does drag. I sleep very comfortably when I'm in that bed right there. It's in that bed right there.
You've got any number of protections surrounding you in this room. This room has got every kind of protection in it, every single kind. So it doesn't surprise me. And that's why whatever's going on, it doesn't bother me. It's just, it's either a guide or an ancestor, or just it's something like that. Or it could be one of Bruce's relatives. I've known a lot of people who've passed away. So any number of people. I have pets. I have spirit pets that wander my house.
Oh, yes, you do. That is for sure.
So, it could be any number of cats, dogs, mice. I think we had mice at one time, pet mice. So, it could be anything, but it doesn't bother me. It doesn't raise the hair up on my arms. If the hair on my arms starts to prickle, I'll be like, all right.
Like it did in Dover?
But those weren't bad, though. It was just a lot at one time.
Yeah.
but it wasn't bad. It was just weird. Oh, except for that one spot in the basement.
Yeah.
That
And that started getting really, right before we left, it started getting to where I didn't want to go to the basement. It was, I would do the whole leaving different lights on. So I would get out and never be in the dark, going up the steps, not turning around, that kind of thing. And so don't start with me about animals. Ash Keeper here. Oh my God.
Why do I hear cats meowing? Are there cats in your neighborhood? God, where is that cat?
Yep. And we didn't tell you anything about any of that stuff.
Oh, that was wild. For the whole first day, all I did was hear the cats. And I kept saying, do you get a cat, a stray? Does your neighbor have a cat? Where is the cat? Yeah.
Yeah. So that place was definitely different. I always caution people, be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. Okay.
You wanted a haunted place in New England, didn't you?
Yeah. And I didn't mind it at first. There were, like I knew the grandmother was there, or the mom or whatever. But it was starting to get a little overpopulated. Like there was something else moving in or whatnot. And it was just weird. But I think I was touching stuff at that point from the property before the house was there. I think we had gone out to the tree line and there's massive pine trees back there. I mean, pine trees so big that Gilly and I together could not put our arms around the trunk.
In it.
What's that?
That there's a bike in it. In the top part that it grew around the bike and the bike
around that path
with the tree.
Yeah. So but that's just it. But so we've traveled off of the animal thing, but that is a good way with the Dragonfly of why you have such great intuition or whatnot.
Right.
And some of that is trusting what you do and what you know. So
absolutely.
Now folks, that color change you're seeing there is just her leaning close to the camera. Yeah. So it's doing the auto adjust, that type of thing. You were sitting dead still. And just before we go, do me a favor, download this recording and let me have it. Okay. Because I want to look at it again and I might post this one. I might even cut a short out of it,
Bridget's creepy visitor.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't creepy, but it was just a visitor. That's why I said I got nothing harmful from it whatsoever. Right. But
it's just something, and it's not unusual. There's always something going on in my house.
Yep.
Oh man. All right. Well, this was an interesting. I like this talk tonight.
Yeah, me too. So let me figure out how I'm going to do this. If we're going to do a live
meditation,
because the meditation, the guided meditation, only takes 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay.
So if you wanted to, we could do that. Right here. Okay. And then people can put in what they see, what they do, or whatnot. We could do a simulcast on my channel. I can put some meditative music in it, whatnot. Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. Okay.
Yeah. And, whatever works. We could do a Wednesday night if you want, and do that, and then and then we can try and maybe interpret through our many oracle cards. Like this is an actual tarot deck,
right?
Where it's got each of the animals on it, and then when you look in the book, it gives you like a whole synopsis of like the hermit is represented by the mantis, and it tells you a message from the mantis, but it also tells you.
Well, you said one of them was the Seven of Pentacles. What animal was that? Was that in this book, or was that?
That was in the Ark, and that was the rabbit. That was Gilead's
The rabbit. Okay.
That was this one.
All right. Which the Seven of Pentacles, that makes total sense. She did a good job of putting the right animal with that card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's just, I love that. So, all right. Cynthia's like, do it live. Do it live.
All right, guys. Well, this was a good show. We liked it.
Yeah.
It was nice to talk to you about your spirit animals. And yeah, it was fun. We had a good time. We didn't get to talk about the unicorn.
No.
Did.
And that's one, if you're seeing a unicorn and you're seeing it for real coming out of the woods at you, then
You
take one step back from the shrooms. Okay.
I was going to say, you want to check your produce.
You might, your psychedelics, you might be overdoing it just a little bit. But if you see it in your dreams or whatnot, and if you see a unicorn, I believe spirit can make anything appear that it wants to appear. Patronus, then okay, that's a sign. That's a sign.
It's a sign of something.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
something.
Yeah, come see Reverend Rob.
You may need some medication. You may need to lay off the plant medicine. Something.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But anyway.
So,
All right.
All right,
guys. Thanks. We'll let you know if Wednesday we're going to do the meditation. I will try to post it early. So Rob and I, you and I just need to make it a point just to connect for 5 minutes this weekend.
Oh yeah, let's do it this weekend. Yeah, sounds good.
And make a decision that way. We can put it out early on in the week. Maybe by Saturday or Sunday we can post it and people.
Get it posted and keep people reminded of it.
All right.
Because I enjoy doing it. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, we always have a good time when we do, short meditations or whatever. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys, have a good one.
Blessings, everybody, and thank you, Brigitte, for the opportunity.
Sure. Bye.